Okay, so we have wrapped weekend number 84, Kairos Prison Ministry at Tomoka Correctional Institution. And it was a weekend full of healing, forgiveness, deliverance, salvation, surrender, miracles, just all that and more. There's a few things I wanted to share. I'm going to make a series of videos. The first thing is I want to address the first miracle we saw of the weekend. So the weekend goes from Thursday with an introduction in the afternoon, and then all day Friday. It's about a 12, 13-hour day. All day Saturday, 12, 13-hour day, and then about a 9-hour day on Sunday. Finished off with a commencement. So, first miracle. This guy sits down. I'm changing all the names just to respect confidentiality, just so everyone knows. But these are real people, real names, real events. But just to respect the privacy of the participants, I'm changing the names involved. But it's all real and miraculous. It's only God can pull these things off. Even if we were talking about it, but we're a bunch of, we're just a bunch of guys who love God, a bunch of misfits who love God, who go in and do this prison ministry. Even if we'd have tried, like we screwed up, especially me. I was the leader of the weekend, and I screwed up in so many ways, and forgot things and left things and had to go back and get things. And even if I had tried to arrange anything like this, I would have failed miserably. But the Holy Spirit, but that's the beauty of it. He takes our our gullibility and our ineptitude into account when he calls us, and he makes these things happen just because he is amazing and for his glory. And that's why we give him all the glory, because we're gonna never pull this off without the Holy Spirit guiding the way. So, first miracle, Friday, lunch. Every lunch in a Kairos weekend, every Kairos weekend, during the training, our volunteers take these blank white placemats to their Sunday schools and youth programs, and children color them, use markers and crayons and stuff to draw whatever they want to draw on there. And then they write their first name and their age on there. And, this has happened a lot of times where, one of the guys will get a placemat and it's the same name as his daughter and same age as his daughter, or same name as age of his son, or, God works these things out. The Holy Spirit does it. So for this weekend, we had about 250 placemats. We ended up using like 180 through all the meals for all the participants and the volunteers. So, and all of this, like, we just come in with a stack of it that's been shuffled around. There's placemats from last weekend in there that were left over. There's, we don't mess with the order of them or anything. We just have a stack of them. And then we set the stack in the back where the inmate servers, CHAs, just grab from the top of the stack and just go out and put placemat in front of every person. In this one, we had 4 tables. We had 3 volunteers and 6 participants at each table. So that's 9 placemats at each table. That's 36 per meal. And we did 5 meals. So anyway, we're in there and very first meal, we also have meal tickets. People can donate the cost of one meal for a participant, for an inmate, and they write their name and the city they're from on the meal ticket. They keep a stub to remind them to pray for the weekend, and then that meal ticket is put in front of them during their meal, so they know that someone in the community cares about them and was willing to pay for their meal. So Friday, first lunch, first meal, this guy comes up after lunch and he's like, "This is crazy, man. This is crazy." And so we're used to, it happens a lot that, it'll be like their child's name or something like that. And sure enough, he says, his drawing was done by a girl named Amy. And he's like, "Man, that's my oldest daughter's name." And then we're like, "Yeah, that's cool." And then he's like, no. He lifts his sleeve up. He's got his daughter's name tattooed on his arm. And so that was confirmation. Okay, yeah, you ain't lying. And then he showed me the meal ticket. And the meal ticket, of all things, like most people just write their first name or their first and last name, like for me, John Story or Jane or Mary or whoever. This meal ticket said Cookie Mama, which I'm guessing this woman who donates a lot of cookies, because we go through 500 dozen cookies in a weekend. So she wrote, someone wrote Cookie Mama on there, and his mother's name was Cookie. Proved that with a tattoo too. And I was convicted. Like, I was amazed first. I was like, wow, look at God go. I was like, God's coming after you this weekend. He's like, man, I know. He's like, I was on the fence. I was on the fence when I came here, but God's really speaking to me in this thing, And it was so good. And then he just sat there and he just cried. Just cried for about 10 minutes. God just got a hold of him, got his attention. Then I was convicted. I was really convicted when I came home Friday. I was like, man, if someone had given me a meal ticket for Cookie Mama, I might would have just like changed it, or not putting it in there, just put a name on it or something, and then I would have been interfering with a miracle from the Holy Spirit. So I was really convicted. About that. I was like, man, I gotta make sure I'm really sold out for Christ. I gotta make sure that I don't get in God's way. So that's the first miracle and the first conviction from the Holy Spirit from Kairos weekend number 84, Tomoka Correctional Institute. Or institution. I will continue with more in the next video.